Welcome to the Scottish Property Podcast. This is a show where we aim to educate, inspire and entertain through real life stories and interviews from people in the Scottish property community.
As always, thanks for listening and give us a follow on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Remember to join us at our monthly networking events on the first Wednesday of every month. Tickets are available on our website. So without further ado, we'll just cut straight into this week's podcast.
Welcome to the Scottish Property Podcast, Peter Toye.
Thanks so much for having me. It's an honour to be here. Thank you.
We usually have an idea about our guests before we have them on. And we're just scrambling to get more guests on to get us over into New Year. And I mentioned to Sam, this is a guest in the group that I've maybe not come across and not spoke to. And he says, yeah, I'm sure Peter's bought 24 properties this year. And I was like, what? This year? And he's like, aye. So I was like, fuck yeah, right, that's it. So
Flying under the radar, mate.
Flown completely under the radar, and he's coming to go and tell us his story about how he's bought 24 properties this year alone.
Yep, it's been definitely a crazy year. So looking forward to telling you all about it.
But it's been in business, you've grown.
Yeah, exactly. I've been in different businesses since I was literally out of school or before school. Started my first business at 14 years old. So
nice.
What was that?
Well, it was actually probably before I was 14. My first business was a little car wash company, and I would just go around the little local estate washing people's car. But you know what it's like when you're like 13 years old. Nobody wants you. They don't take you seriously. So I'm chapping the doors and stuff, and they're probably giving me the wee knock back that says, "I come back next week, son." So I'd go around and I'd write up a wee slip. Yep, no worries. Your car wash will be next week, next Wednesday and stuff. Put that through their door, and I'd go back and wash their car. So I learned to be quite resilient. Just doing that. So that was my first wee thing. And then Mum was in pharmaceutical sales before. And she had been since I was young. So like even from the age of like 5 years old, I was just sitting next to her, learning as she was just in sales, just constantly phoning people, emailing people, drumming up business and stuff. So I learned to be confident talking to people, which was probably quite good. So she got made redundant when I think it was about 14. She set up a taxi advertising company, like on the side of taxis or full wraps of taxis. So she didn't really have a clue what she was doing from the taxi side and from the advertising side. So she needed help making leaflets, making flyers, all that sort of stuff. And equally, I didn't know what I was doing, but I managed to go on YouTube, learn it all, which was good. So I helped her massively with that, which gave me the foundations. Like I had the ability to learn stuff without it impacting me. I was just 14 and I was still at school.
Learn a skill, put into business, add value in a business. And
Exactly.
You've always been a bit of a hustler then. And
Always from a young age. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
what was your kind of first real business then that got off?
So it was just off the back of that actually. So I'd done all her promotional stuff and learned all about graphics and things from doing like the adverts for the sides of the taxis. So maybe someone comes with a restaurant and they want the logo on the side of it and their pictures and all the rest of it. I'd put all the graphics together. So I ended up in my summer holidays, I'd go on Yellow Pages. I'd pay £50 or whatever to have adverts on Yellow Pages for the day. And my phone would ring. Oh, I need such and such leaflets. I need posters made. I need whatever made. So I would just go to another print company and just add on, 20%, 30%, send it off to someone. Easy done. So I did that for a long time. Even like at school, I'd be in a class, phone's ringing because I've left the adverts on all day. Someone wants something. And I would just wait till I'm out on lunch break and say, oh, hello, sorry, I've been in a meeting, So I learned how to hustle quite early with that. So that was my first wee business. Kept that going for a wee while. And then I think when I was 18, I bought like a small wide format printer. So I started printing canvas photo prints. So did really well with that.
And was that quite kind of new at the time, like in terms of
Yeah, exactly. You were getting it in like shops and shopping centres and stuff like that, so there wasn't really much online. So that was like 2010, I think that was. So
because it kind of like it goes through phases. These things, doesn't it? Kind of like it's all the rage, and everyone's getting canvases for their granny's Christmas and all that.
It was wedding pictures, baby photos, dog pictures, all that sort of stuff. So we did a lot of advertising on Groupon, Voucher, Living Social, all that sort of stuff. So we ended up getting like 2,000-3,000 canvas print orders every day some days,
so
especially
did you
in the run up to
like
Christmas.
A shopping centre or something like that?
No, we just got, so I started off with I started off with my mum's garage.
Right.
She was kind enough to convert it for me, and then it just grew. Once the stage where employees were coming to my mum's garage, it was like, right, okay, we need to move on. But I was only 18.
Was this all young, online that you were doing, getting the people would like upload their
they would just upload their picture online, we'd print it and we'd post it out to them. So
cool.
It was really good. And then when we partnered with Groupon and Voucher and Living Social and all the sort of daily deal. All went absolutely crazy. So obviously the margins were a bit lower, but they were still,
because they take quite a lot, right? They take quite a cut.
Yeah, they were taking 40% or something back then. But
so that's the real good business model, isn't it? It's like the booking.coms for property. You're like, they're the real smart ones, like getting 15% for fuck all.
Exactly.
No, I'm not saying it's fuck all, but I'm saying it's like,
it's got a system. The platform.
Yeah,
exactly. So we did really well with that, and I grew that. And we had like 50 staff or something in Christmas, just all part-time mainly, but I was working, during the day, during the night, doing the night shift, just as much I could possibly do.
Was doing some printing then.
Oh, we ended up with like 10 printers or something, just all constantly running.
Did you have to move into a unit then?
Yeah, so we eventually moved into a 3,500 square foot unit, so that was when I was 19, so.
You were only 19 at the time?
You got to sign the lease on that, 19.
Exactly, it was 5-year lease, and I went, I can't think 5 years ahead, but just sign it.
I'm on 19, all right.
Yeah, exactly.
So college, uni, that wasn't for you?
I did uni for a year down in Shields, but just didn't enjoy it. It was business I did, but I had something going. And I was like, no, like, this is, I want to come over here and do this.
Lectures when you're making decent money. And
Exactly. So
you've got a bit of an appetite for it then.
What was the exit with the printing business? Did you sell it? Did you?
So I kept that going for a long, long time, but it got to a stage where what we did is we took on too much work in the 1 year, and everyone wants a canvas for Christmas, right?
Yeah.
So we just took on far too many, and we ended up using PayPal as our payment processor, and they were quite nasty and ended up freezing our account with something like just under £100,000 in it, which when you're 19, 20 years old, like that was crazy money. So somehow managed to get through that.
How did you learn from that, and how would you do things differently?
How would I do things differently? Not be so overexposed to one sort of process or
payment provider,
or just not to on too much at the same time where you were getting loads of complaints. But
I suppose when the business coming in, you've got it set up ready for delivering a service. It's hard to say no or hard to stop it, isn't it?
That's it. You're seeing orders come in. You think this is great. We'll make it happen. You're 19. You're so naive. You're just
you're not like nobody can touch you.
Exactly. Exactly. Right, so so that was a real struggle, and then they held it for 6 months. So I had to survive for 6 months without this money, and I thought, how am I going to get through it? How am I going to get through it? And eventually did, which was great. But at the end of the 6 months, and I got this money back, I was like, oh, well, what am I going to do with it? Because I actually don't need it. I've somehow managed to get I've hustled my way through this.
You have to prove that you fulfilled all the orders to get that money, and then obviously some of them you might not have been able to fulfill, and then the customer's got the money back, sort of thing.
Pretty much all of the money we got, I think 99.5% or something we got.
At that point, was just like, we don't want to do this anymore?
No, I kept it going, and obviously swapped payment processor. We'd been doing it for the 6 months that we didn't have the money, and I'd swapped to another provider, so kept that going. But I thought, well, okay, I'm gonna make myself less, exposed to one thing. So I set up a milkshake bar company. So we bought.
Where'd the idea for that come?
I was in Copenhagen, and I saw this place called Joe and the Juice.
Right.
And they're throwing bananas up in the air, and it just looked, it was like theatre to what they were doing.
Like cocktail Tom
exactly
Cruise
that
movie, but with milkshakes.
Exactly that, yeah. So I thought, that looks really, really cool. But obviously I didn't want to copy their idea exactly. So swapped it a wee bit to milkshakes. We took these old school type Volkswagen camper vans, T2 bays, and we sprayed them all bright blue, put them in the middle of shopping centres, and we would all get all the staff wearing wee bow ties and looking really smart and trying to do the same sort of thing. And it worked brilliant. We had them all over Glasgow, up in Dundee, some down south and stuff. Yeah, we did for a while. Yeah, exactly. So that was great, but it was a really hard business. That was called Bibble.
Right.
So yes, that was a brilliant business, but really hard because you're employing 16, 17-year-old kids who they're not really bothered,
Make some milkshakes. And
so how many of these things did you have around the country?
I think we tried numerous different locations. So I think probably altogether, we had about 8, but never 8 at the one time, if that makes sense, because you would try a location.
That cost a lot of money to set up.
It was a lot, but I'd used that pot. That I had. So
a $100,000 pot that you got back
exactly.
PayPal. What am I going to put
exactly right? What am I going to do with it? So this is what I did. Yeah. So I moved through to Glasgow for a few years, which was nice.
How did the milkshakes pan out in the end? The
milkshakes end up was killed by COVID because you're in the middle. They were all in shopping centres. So not many people were going out in COVID. Not many people were then coming to a shopping centre. You're obviously wearing a mask in COVID. So who's going to
Right.
Who's going to pay 4 or 5 quid to go and drink a milkshake?
Yeah.
I mean, it must have been the death of a lot of businesses, right? during
Definitely
that
was,
time.
yeah.
I mean, like my wife went, because we stayed beside Silverburn Shopping Centre, and she came back one day, she's like, they've got this amazing place. It's like a salad bar in Silverburn. The guy's just like an independent guy. He's got this stall and that, and it's a salad. The salads are amazing and all that. And then she got talking to him, and he's like, I'm going to need to close down.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be here next week. And it was a similar story to what you're saying.
Yeah.
And it was like, the guy was putting out good quality. It was good quality product. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I would imagine that these shopping centres as well, I mean, they're owned by big pension companies as well, so their rent's not going to be cheap.
Rent's through the roof. Rates is through the roof as well, because you're in prime space in the centre of the mall. So
big overheads.
Yeah. Oh, it was a massive leap when I signed that for, I think, the first lease. I was like 21 at the time, 22, and signing the lease for like 55 grand for the year. I'm like, shaking signing it, because I'm like, this is just crazy money. Yeah. Obviously, you grow with the numbers, but at the time,
Did you manage to get out of it when you closed the business down?
Managed to get out of it, yeah. With
Did you
not
lose
too
much?
No, I didn't lose much. No, it just wasn't so profitable because it was just really, really hard to run. And partly because of how I'd physically done it, but the fact it was inside a Volkswagen camper van. Right. There was only so much space. There was only so many milkshakes you could actually produce in a day.
Did you manage to sell the camper vans or what?
Yeah, we sold the camper vans at the end eventually, for way less than they were ever worth. But so that was that. But luckily, just before COVID, a few months before, like the tail end of 2019, I started up the Giveaway Guys, which is an online competition company. So
this is something that I want to talk to you about, because
I've always wanted to
I
chat
get these links set, right? People, and it's usually my niece or my sister or something like that. They're all over these things on Facebook and all that. They send me these links, win this, win that.
Yeah.
Put your money in that. And I'm like, that's just a scam. Don't touch that. Do you know what I mean? So you're here today, Peter, to explain how does that all work then? So give us a typical example of one of your giveaways.
So we'll buy a motorhome or whatever it might be, a custom camper van. We'll buy it, we'll put it on the website, and we'll sell 20,000 tickets at £5
What's
each.
What's the website called again?
The Giveaway Guys.
Giveaway Guys. You put this on the website, right?
So we put it on the website. Someone goes on, buys a ticket. We'll do a guaranteed draw, so we'll always say, by next Tuesday night, no matter how many tickets we've sold, if we've only sold 50% or if we've sold all the tickets, we'll do the draw guaranteed. So we do that. Everyone's got
on
ticket.
you to do the marketing to drive
Exactly.
the tickets in.
All our business is literally marketing.
Is that
Facebook
through social
ads.
media, Facebook?
Yeah.
Are you an expert in Facebook ads, or did you get outsource that? Or?
I've outsourced it, but I got really lucky with the guy that I got. So we've got a great relationship. He used to manage like 10 different big clients and has just cut them all down and just does us now. So
how much would a ticket be? Would it vary depending on?
It depends on the price, but sometimes they can be as much as £30. Sometimes they can be as little as a couple of pounds.
Right.
But most of the time they're under a £5.
Mm-hmm. And has this been going for a while now? How long?
So this is coming up for five years in January. It'll be.
Right.
Big setup cost to get the compliance behind it and the website and the.
Well, the compliance, that's a funny story, because so basically, like everything else I've done, I've winged it. But yeah, so you needed to be able to advertise on Facebook, you needed an RMG license, like a real money gaming license, which you can apply for. But you know what Facebook's like when if you've ever dealt with Facebook, they're just computer says no, or there's no real person at the end of that support chat.
Aye.
There's nothing there at all. So we'd applied for it and got nothing. But we're firing on, we're running all our ads, and
were you getting your ads shut down? Or
exactly. So what would happen after maybe like a couple of months, we'd got a good bit of traction. COVID had hit, everyone's at home doing nothing, and then boof, ad account shut, and you go, right, what do you do? So you're just on support chat to Facebook, but they're not really giving you anything. So eventually, I managed to track some girl down on LinkedIn who was in that team, and I managed to just badger her, just like every day, send a message like, please help, And luckily, I think it took like 3 or 4 months to get that through different, like it's probably lawyers' evidence and stuff that you're running compliant business and things.
Got unblocked.
Got unblocked, yeah, but that was a tough gig to get that done. But
see, when you buy the camper van, are you having to buy that outright, or do you buy that finance?
No, we buy it outright. Yeah,
you buy that outright. So you physically have to hold that item, and then obviously you're charging out these tickets. Do you ever get to the point where you just don't cover the cost of the camper van?
We've been doing it long enough that we started off with like small motorbikes, like 5-10 grand motorbikes, and then built up our confidence in what's popular and what's not popular. So we have got to the stage where we know what or at least we think we know what's going to sell. So I think the worst one we've ever done was like a break even.
Right.
That's
So
good,
which is good. Yeah.
Can you share what like a really good successful one would be? Like how much you
like profit? Most successful one could probably do us like 50,000 profit.
Nice.
Yeah, if we get the prize right and get the marketing right.
And is there ones that you keep going again and again with? Have you got a cycle where you say, right,
Well, we sort of do
the motorhome again? Or?
Yeah, we do sort of do like a few different product categories. So you do like all bikes. We found bikes to be really, really popular because it's something that you want but can't necessarily justify.
What about the supercars? Has that been popular?
We haven't really necessarily dived into that too much. I'll tell you why in a bit, but the bikes have been really great because you can't just, if you go home with your wife and you say I've spent 20 grand on this bike, she'll go, come on, what are you up to? So that's been great. Whereas if you win it for £2 or £3, then
Bingo.
fire on, yeah. So we do that category. We do campers, we do motorhomes, we do a lot of holidays, and then cars. But cars were found quite hard to get into because, you know, you might want a family car, you might want a sports car, you might also want a family car.
So I've followed one since it started. Since the company started maybe 3 or 4 years ago. It's the only one of those competitions that I pay for because they've got the niche down there. Fucking T, exactly what he says. As I used to start off like, there's a 911 GT3, and I'm like, I want a GT3. Yeah, it's 99p a ticket. Right? I'm buying fucking 40, and I'll do it. I'll do it every second month or something. I just spend 50 quid or something. I've seen it, or they'll bring something up that's really cool that I like. I'm like, oh fuck, I'll
go for that.
But see now, this company's hit the nail on the head. They'll do it's a double car giveaway every week, and it's a Lamborghini Urus for before, and a Lamborghini Aventador, or a Jeep fucking you know, it's always like a family car and a sports car.
And a sports car, they're doing the best
like,
of both there.
When you're winning them, you're going to the wife and going, there's your brand new Audi RS.
Yeah, that keeps you happy, and this is...
Here's my toy, and I thought, that's fucking brilliant. That's genius. They must be starting to coin it in, like...
No, they definitely
are. How much do you give to Mark Zuckerberg then every month?
A disgusting amount of money. Hundreds of thousands of pounds.
Wow. I can imagine.
And have you built up a wee team, or how many of you does it do it?
I think there's 9 or 10 of us that are doing the giveaway, guys.
Nice one.
Which is good. But now we've got a really good relationship with Facebook. We get invited over every couple of months, and we get to go on their training courses. They give us new products to try out and stuff. So that's helped massively. Like. You know,
massive. The biggest ad spend is Facebook ads, not.
Oh yeah, Facebook ads is through the roof.
So many people doing it.
There's a lot of people doing it. There's a lot of people doing it badly.
Right. Where did they fall? Where can you fall down with this sort of stuff?
People buying the wrong prize. It's so prize dependent. You know, you'll know yourself if you want a Porsche 911, you want it with this spec, you want it with the carbon ceramic brakes, you want it with the bucket seats. You know, so people are kind of maybe getting the spec and stuff wrong, whether it's a bike or it's a car or whatever it is. And they're not understanding as well how much cash they need to push into the ads to sell something out. You want 20,000 conversions on the website for something.
So that's just come with experience, and you've been trialing stuff and market research as well. Like you have to sort of do your.
We try and have like our Facebook page as a bit of a community. Right. It's a bit of a, you know, here guys, here's this prize. Do you think we should buy this? And we get feedback that way, which is quite nice. We try and keep it quite relaxed rather than being too corporate about it. So try and make it laugh, you know.
Is there any product that you've had to pull, like that you've got into bother with or anything like that? Like
Formula One.
Right.
And so we're doing trips away to the Formula One all the time. And Formula One contacts and says, no, sorry, you're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to use our copyright or trademark or this or that. So I had to pull them. But
I would imagine things like Disney as well, that'd be quite tight.
Yeah, they're actually all right, just apart from using their images. So as long as you use like you've paid for an image, they're quite happy. So we do that quite a lot.
Fascinating. So things going well in that?
Things going really well with that, yeah. Really delighted with it, and it's went from strength to strength. So,
and that's giving you the money, the profits, and building the wealth to then invest in property. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
So again, it's the power of the trading business.
Exactly.
It makes total sense. And what was the big attraction to property? Is something that's always been on the forefront of build the money up and start investing in it.
Exactly. I've always wanted to do it, but I've always had the cash to not always had the cash to do it. So I had a wee health scare at the start of the year. My heart just went up to like 250 beats a minute. I just come out swimming with the kids, and went absolutely crazy. So
did you take it? You felt that like
that was intense. Yeah, exactly. So went into E&E, and the guy was just like, feel my pulse going straight through. So don't get me wrong, they totally fixed it, and it was fine. Half an hour later. So that was good.
What did it end? What did they diagnose it as? Some sort
of
murmur or something?
It's called SVT. Right. So it's like a short circuit in your heart.
All right.
So basically, it can happen multiple times, but now I know how to deal with it. Yeah, literally that.
Wow.
So that gave me a wee health scare, and I was like, do you know, if something happened, I'm earning good money right now, but if something happens to me, I've got 2 kids. So
were you stressed at work or putting in it? Are you just always...
I've always been stressed at work. I think when you're doing any of this shit.
Are you like one of these mental people that you just don't stop?
Never stop, yeah. You're on holiday, you're texting and emailing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you're
definitely.
there. Know the story. So
that put a kind of one spin on it and thought... Shit.
Exactly. I thought, can I replace my income? Is what I thought. If my kids are only 1 and 3 at the moment, so if something happens to me, doesn't sound like it's gonna. This sounds like it's totally fine, this thing, but if it does, what are they going to do? So, I've always been interested in property. So I bought my first one with my friend. We did that up, but we did it all back to front, all upside down and left to right. But it worked out great, or it's going to work out great. When we remortgage it in 5 years' time, and the value's great, and what else? But so we did that and learnt loads from doing it. But we've done other stuff through the years as well. We had a wee shop fitting company, so I've known loads about doing construction and stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Let's take a quick break, guys, from today's show to talk about selling your property with Prime Property Auctions. Now, myself and Stephen have both used John and Lewis from Prime in the past, and we can personally vouch for their service. They sell vacant and tenanted property, and you get to control the minimum reserve price so that you're not selling your property for peanuts. They pay for all the stuff like photos, videos, and all the marketing stuff up front, so you're not paying anything from the start, and it's a no sale, no fee. So if you want to check out Prime Property Auctions, then get across to the link on the show notes and speak to the guys.
So,
so what was the plan? Was a specific area you wanted to focus on, or go into, or you just think, fuck it, let's just buy?
Well, I like Edinburgh. I was born in Edinburgh, so I know that well. I know the area as well. I'm confident in what's a good bit and what's a bad bit. So that's why we started there. Started with a 3-bed, did that and got that rented out, which was great. I've now ventured into other areas, but I'm unsure of them. I've got stuff in Aberdeen, don't know whether it's really that great or not.
So in 10 years' time.
We had this conversation with a previous guest, and I put the question to him, because he had 2, he's got 2 now, and says, would you buy in Aberdeen again? He's like, absolutely not. to me, it actually sounded like, all right. He's like, I'm generating 300 a month or 250 a month cash flow. I'm only left 15 grand in the deal.
Yeah.
I was like, that sounds
not bad.
Right. Yeah. I guess it's what you want to do with it. Yeah. Previously, he'd got an all money out deal and stuff like that.
So it wasn't.
So that wasn't great for him. It wasn't what he was wanting. But what's your kind of long-term? Have you got a kind of long-term strategy?
For me, it's capital appreciation. Yeah, yeah.
That's why the Edinburgh was. Well, you still got cash flow in the business.
Exactly.
You're not bothered about the cash flow.
I'm looking at like I've got 20 years. Before my kids are up and needing something. Yeah. So if I can appreciate it that way, but anyway, I've been led astray here, there, and everywhere. So. So some in Aberdeen, some Stirling, some Alva and Alloa and stuff, and then just trying to keep myself focused on Edinburgh.
So you're getting pulled in by the shiny penny of the groups, people in the group.
Literally that.
Aberdeen, someone buying in Stirling, like fuck, I'll buy them.
One of them, please.
But you must have a decent team quite quickly then to have dealt with the volume that you've been buying as well.
Yeah.
How are you funding them then?
Just through trading profits.
And is it the deposits that you're putting that you're getting 75% loan to value? Is it just in straight buy to let loans?
The first batch that I did, I bought all cash. Within that, obviously refinance it after the refurb, but obviously the cash runs out pretty quickly doing that. So just then buying on bridges and then refinancing after the refurb.
So you're using the bridging loans because you've done a lot of volume. So how many in the space of?
So they're not all complete yet. Some of them are still going through legals, but they're really, really close. So since February, it's been 24.
And these are single unit purchases? Any portfolios?
One portfolio of 6.
All right.
But that's all singles, yeah.
Whereabouts is that? Can you tell us a little bit about the portfolio?
Yeah, so it's 6 single units in Alloa, Alva and Tullibody.
Nice.
not again, it's not really what I want. I really want Edinburgh, but it was there, and the numbers kind of work. It's sort of the time it's refinanced. Hopefully, leave about 40,000 in between the 6. So,
and I know you're saying you want Edinburgh, but obviously you don't get much, under 300 grand in Edinburgh. Do you know what I mean?
It's definitely a lot more expensive.
I know it's great, and I know long term for capital growth, you can't beat Edinburgh, right? But you're pretty low risk with these little buy-to-lets that you're buying up around the country. And obviously, it's decent cash flow, and you might get a wee bit of capital appreciation. So, what you kind of what would you be like 60k purchase, 70k purchase?
On which one, sorry?
Or just on that portfolio 6 specifically.
That portfolio 6 are mostly sort of 70, 80, 90,000 pound places, yeah.
And then obviously you're renting them out for what, I don't know, between
600, 700, something like that. Depends on which one it is, exactly.
You just park in these on agency and just getting on with my
yeah, exactly.
So you've got a letting agent to manage them.
Yep.
Your idea is to obviously don't get too much involved, or how you managing refurbs? And
getting involved with the refurbs, my partner, she's given up a full-time job, so she's helping me with the giveaway guys and helping me with the property stuff as well. So that's been great. Good to be able to work hand in hand. Like, you always think it's going to be horrific, but we got on great.
And what's the roles there then? What?
We're probably still defining those roles, which is causing a bit of friction, but no, it's good.
She the boss then?
No. But if you're listening, yes, you are.
My wife came to work for us for a while.
3 weeks.
She pretty much was. I mean, she's very good at what she did, but she went back to teaching just because she's like, I find this job boring. So when you talk about the refurbs getting involved, what does that mean in terms of what are you physically?
Just meeting the trades. Just exactly.
Just going to work with a hammer and fucking nail gun.
No, no, you wouldn't want that. But you wouldn't want me doing that either.
We talked to a guy we've had on the podcast a couple of times, Davey Hutton, and he does a lot. He's a trader, buys and sells. Been doing it for 30 plus years. Does a lot, buying these rundown properties and that. And I said to him as a joke, I says, so you strip wallpaper on that, like thinking, no, like this guy's been doing this 30 years. But I was like, he did say, didn't he? He was in there. He was like, yeah, it was actually. I was carrying plaster up to plaster and all that. He was getting involved again. So do you like getting involved with
I would love to get involved. Haven't got the time to get involved, and just happy to just say, if there's not enough money in it for me to just pay someone else to do it, then it's not worth doing, is it? So, getting involved in terms of the project management sort of side of it, but definitely not the day-to-day.
Keeping these refurbs pretty basic, or have there been any?
No, so if it was probably just down to me, I would just keep them basic. My partner, Joanna, she just has got an eye for interior design. She just wants to make them look all nice when, you could just paint them for them white.
That was a bad business move there straight away.
Probably, exactly. All renovation costs have just doubled there.
As long as she's been smart with the shopping.
That's it, yeah. No, like she totally gets it. She's been brilliant, so...
something that doesn't cost any more.
Yeah, exactly. We're just looking at the way of it. Fair enough, right now there's a lot of rental demand out there in all these different areas, but maybe there'll become a time when there isn't. Well, if
those are the best properties,
if those are the best ones, they'll hopefully go first. Exactly. So, and if you can get an extra wee bit on their valuation,
and on the rental income as well. Yeah,
exactly. So,
have you looked at any of these other property strategies then, aside from buy to let? And
we've got one HMO, but apart from that, it's all done.
Nice. Where's the HMO about?
HMO's in Alva. So it's a 6-bed HMO. So
back with HMO license in place, like just the.
So I already had a license, but you've got to obviously apply for a new one when you buy it over. But
so we talked to quite a few people about HMO, and it's a lot more kind of higher turnover in that, isn't it? I mean, you've got that one up in Aberdeen stuff, because it's that kind of shared living, and not everybody's going to get on in there. So how are you finding that kind of turnover?
Well, this is quite lucky because it's just all let to one company.
Right.
So they're paying good money, and it's like, I think it's a steel company or something. So
they're putting their own workers in it.
That's it, exactly.
That's
exactly. Yeah. So
you're getting the benefit of the cash without the
without any aggro. Exactly. Yeah,
like
exactly. So that's been a decent deal.
Is that scaling at the rate that you have? Has that caused any issues regarding lenders and stuff like that? Or
we had a wee issue a few weeks ago because we had a bridge with Lenvest, another one with Together. So we had to do a ranking agreement, but generally seems to be all right, and just having to get the letter of non-crystallization
Non-crystallization,
from whoever's got floating charge.
And have you had any good results in terms of refinances? Good success?
Yeah, had some good ones.
Any bad ones?
You had some bad, had some good. I'm sure everyone has. So we did one. What one was going to tell you about that? Yeah, sorry, one in Edinburgh. It was in Leith. It's got a tenant in it when we bought it, so it was valued at 180. Got it for 138, I think it was. But it's got the tenant in place, and they're paying like £400 a month under market rent. So yeah, that was a tough one. But we've worked away with the tenant. Well, it wasn't even mortgageable when we bought it because the EPC was so low. So we managed to get the EPC up, which was good. Got a mortgage on it. I think it's left like $5,000 in it. So
nice.
We've just got to bide our time with the tenant.
It's
and
pretty good for Edinburgh, isn't it?
Yeah, $5,000 left in, or maybe it's 8 or something. But yeah.
And with your experience with Facebook ads and stuff like that, are you doing any marketing in terms of the property stuff on Facebook?
No, we're not. But I see a lot of people are.
So that's something you fancy?
I think without being, we could blow everyone out of the water. I would like to hope,
I was going to say, man.
But maybe not be too cocky about it. But I'm sure there's a lot more to it than just the ads. You obviously got to convert the person.
Yeah.
At the back end of it. So.
Yeah, well, God, I mean, like, I don't know that much about it, but obviously speaking to guests that we have on, there is definitely potential there.
Yeah, good opportunities there. Yeah, if you're good at them, or you've got the team. To do it,
Well, one we just got was an auction purchase, and I think the guy bought it for 120 odds, and we bought it for 160 3 weeks later. And he just got it, Facebook ad. So definitely something we need to look into. Just haven't quite got enough focus on it yet. So
just up north?
No, it's Midlothian.
All right.
Sorry.
I was wondering if it was our previous guest that was talking.
Oh, really?
I was like, shit, we just matched up
what about developing and flipping? Is that take your fancy?
I haven't done any flipping or thinking about that at all. But just trying to hold it. Just going back to the capital appreciation side. So
what age are you now?
32.
Right, okay, still pretty young.
Banking the assets and
sit on them for as long as I can. Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure over time I'll probably, if some of the ones I've bought, I'll go, right, that's that wasn't a good buy, was it? So
come to Glasgow, man. We'll pick you up a few in Glasgow.
I'd love to. I'd love to. Yeah.
See how they perform for you.
Yeah.
Aye, definitely. We'll sort you out.
Is there any other strategies at play, or anything you're thinking about going into? Or are you thinking of just keeping it as vanilla as you can?
I'd love to do some new builds, but probably not thinking about the profit side. I'm sure there's great profit there, but just something I've always wanted to do. But will we ever get there? That's a great question. So yeah.
Wait, do you have a vision for the kind of the end game in terms of the property portfolio? Have you got a set number of units? Have you got a set cash flow figure, or what is the?
I've got a set cash flow figure. Yeah, which is to replace my wage. That was my initial idea going back to the start of the year. So I'd like to be able to do that with the cash flow, and I'm on my way to doing it. So yeah.
And is that
by the end of next year?
We get a lot of people that are motivated to get into property because they're not happy with what they're doing, or they're kind of fed up, but I mean, you've got your own business there. It seems like it's doing really well.
Yeah.
So what is the motivation then to replace that salary? Is it just because you just don't want to work as much? You want to wind down a little?
No,
bit,
just like going back to the wee health scare. I thought, well, if something happens to me, what do the kids do? What does Joanna do? Yeah, exactly. So a wee bit of security. I love what I do. I love my day job.
Is your business still very much reliant on you? Like,
it's not so much now. It probably was a year ago.
Right.
But yeah, managing to work my way out slowly. But I'll always want a hand in it. I love doing it. So we get to drive cool cars and ride nice bikes, and just go about buying classic cars, and it's great.
The cars.
I love that idea of that business. I've been thinking about it for about a year, thinking, how can I do that business? That'd be good fun.
I'll let you go in about cars now. I'm going to ask a few questions about cars. No,
I know. I think you to keep doing that as long as you could, and just keep parking the profits into the property portfolio.
Yeah, exactly. There's regulation potentially coming in our industry for the competition websites, so that'll create a wee bit of uncertainty at the moment. But ideally, I'd like to exit that probably in the next 3, 4, 5 years. Would be nice. I love doing it, but any normal entrepreneur straight on to the next thing, and so we'll see.
It'll be the next travelling adventure where you find another idea where you're going, that's
fancy a bit of that. Yeah, exactly. Well, we ended up so going back to the giveaway, guys. So someone will win a prize. Maybe it's a motorhome, maybe it's a car or a bike or whatever, and it's worth 20, 30, 40,000 pounds, whatever it might be. And they win it, and they go, do you know, that's really great. I really wanted that camper van, or really wanted that car, but any way I could just have the cash.
Yeah.
So we end up offering cash options on a lot of it, but it means we're then stuck with it. So we opened up a wee car and bike dealership just to be able to then
Offload
put these
those.
things back out. Yeah, exactly.
Right, okay, got you.
So yeah, that's probably the next thing that will start growing at some point when I get some more time. At the moment, it's just selling the stock that
The excess stock without bringing
Exactly.
more stock in that.
Don't
Exactly.
do rentals, no?
No. Do you want to rent something?
Supercar rentals.
Supercar rental.
Well, the car is online to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
raffled off for renting it as well.
Well, that's what the guy. You know, these guys that are your property. There's a lot of property gurus out there. That's where they go. They go and rent their Lamborghinis and all that, don't they? Do you know what I mean? They go to Dubai. They rent
Yeah.
a Lamborghini.
Lamborghini.
They go and that's the look at the millions that I've made out of property and
Yeah.
Lamborghini in the background.
Yeah. Just wannabes.
I'll do that. I could do that normal in his normal day job.
I'll
Not at all.
do that with a motorhome and see how many followers I get.
Probably not the same.
Live your dream life. Work from your laptop from your motorhome.
Yeah.
Those things must be quite seasonal when you're picking the prizes as well, like motorhomes in the winter. versus
It's hard.
in the summer.
Trying to sell a 25 grand sports bike, to win it when it's December and it's snowing outside.
No one's interested.
You got to
in that.
get creative for your content.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Or-
not so easy.
Or things like jet skis, do you try things like that as
We
well?
haven't tried jet skis. Just we'd love to do a house. Is what we'd really love to do.
aye.
Also, being
Well,
able to do property. So
I saw that Jennifer Levay was doing her house, and I know a friend of mine, probably 5 or 6 years ago.
I think I saw that.
It was actually his wife's Instagram. She'd done the kind of documented the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then they went to raffle off the house. And I think it was the first day of its kind.
Yeah.
I'm sure he said to me, like, the compliance, it was like 12 grand just to get it ready to be able to sell it. So it wasn't quite worthwhile. But
Yeah.
you imagine a property investor or a property developer that you've got the compliance once and do your flips and trade them out.
That's
as
it.
Raffles. I think
Yeah.
you're going to
How
make more
could
money.
you
as a flip.
protect yourself though? The risk factor in terms of potentially you could be losing. I mean, we're talking about a house. We could be talking about
Yeah.
150, 200 grand.
Yeah.
Where you've got to give that away regardless.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. The only way I would do it is knowing that I can definitely do it and is probably doing it in a sensible manner.
Or minimum tickets sold before you give it away.
I don't want to do anything like that because our whole ethos is just
We're giving it
we'll do it, and it's it's next Tuesday night, it's next Sunday night, that sort of thing. So
That company down south, is that Omaze or something like that?
yeah, they do like massive, like
Like a £1
3-4
million
million pound
house. Aye, aye.
houses. Yeah, that's
But they
That's
seem to
massive.
run on for months and months and months. I think they don't give it. That's not given away by.
I think they run their competitions for about 4 to 6 weeks,
Right,
but they
yeah.
have I think 2 or 3 houses on at any one time.
Right, I see.
But they definitely do well.
But
How would you know if sorry, I'm maybe just overthinking this, might be a dead obvious answer, but how would you know if you bought one of these tickets that you're not just keeping the cash and not giving away the prize?
That's what we work on all the time is putting out getting people to trust us and making sure that they realise that we're not a scam. But that's the number one thing we get all
Do
the
you
time.
have to? Would you do handover photos?
We
and
do
stuff like that?
handover photos, we do handover winners videos, we do
Right.
constant live. So all our live draws are live on Facebook and YouTube,
Nice.
so you can watch it. And we invite people to just come down.
That's quite cool, actually. Do you know Scott McCall's in the group?
No,
So he won a Range Rover Defender on one of these groups.
Ah, right, okay.
Because when he first joined the group, he'd said something about the spare cash I'd put in his
Yeah.
property portfolios from winning one of these, a brand new Defender.
Right, nice.
Defender, and so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought, I've never heard anyone winning any of these things.
yeah.
But he'd
Well,
said,
we were doing a refurb up in Aberdeen. The joiner comes in, he goes, "Oh, I want a bike off you guys."
Brilliant.
So brilliant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It's great when you get folk that win, but unfortunately, you get a lot of people obviously don't as well.
You've
But
got 20,000 tickets sold out and only one person can win it.
yeah,
gotta be more-
19,999 of them have got nothing. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
How many would you have on at a time? Items like
It's anywhere between sort of like 20 and 30.
just depending on the
Yeah.
value of them or the
Yeah, exactly.
I think
seasonality.
starting Alpha, I'm assuming, was a big capital expense to start buying these
Yeah,
prizes.
we started small.
I
And
went
grew it
one or
up.
two
So
at a time and then just
yeah,
grew it
yeah,
up.
yeah, exactly. So it's been handy. Being able to start on the bikes was the thing that really helped because
Right.
it was something that was a nice to have, not a need to have.
Yeah.
That's
That's
great.
quite cool.
Again, it's like just going back. We'll wrap up now, but it's going back to that thing that we preach about quite a lot: is that there's too many people out there that want to fast track just investing in property, and you think, well, actually, you'd be better doing something else and putting in the hard graft. I mean, it must have been hard graft to get to where you are.
Absolutely.
Right now. It's
Learn
looking
business
amazing.
first is what the thing I would say.
Aye.
Before you try and go and do property, learn business first and learn how to deal with people, learn how to make money and learn how
Make
to
some money.
make some mistakes as well.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
made so
learn-
many mistakes, you know,
Lose
and
some
that's
money.
That's as good as learning stuff as making
I
mistakes.
get asked that question all the time, like, what would you do differently? And I'm like, wouldn't do property. Wouldn't do business. I've had to go and completely
Do back
reverse
to front.
engineering, go build a portfolio from fucking scratch and then go and figure it out to be in business. Like you've just done it back to front. Whereas like you say, if you were working on a business, you can grow capital and then just go and invest in a property without having to go and get the fancy strategies and BRRs, get all your money back out and use private investor finance. You can actually do like what you're doing and scale it up quickly using your own capital, your own company's capital, which at the end of the day is making you, it's increasing your net worth and growth a lot quicker than starting off with nothing.
There's a lot of people slagging off, residential property at the moment, and a lot of people saying, nah, it's just not worth it anymore. But obviously you've gone all in.
Just went for it.
You've just gone all in. What would you say to these people that have got doubts? Is it? Are you happy with the returns so far that you're making?
I'm absolutely delighted with the returns so far. Yeah, definitely. As I say, trying to replace the income. So yeah, delighted with the returns. I would say if you're unsure about it, then it's maybe the wrong thing for you. Yeah. But that's it. If you
don't like hard work and don't have much resilience, maybe avoid it.
Yeah, take a risk. Do it. As long as it's calculated and you've done a bit of research. You've not just went in without anything. Go and speak to different people. Go and learn a wee bit and take a wee bit from each person and go away and think about it and make your own decision. But ultimately, take action and just go and do it.
Mm-hmm. Would you diversify into commercial property or other?
I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to. Especially our own unit. I've been renting that same unit since I was 19 or 20 or something. So I'd love to be able to buy that, but it's owned by the council. So that'd be the first thing I'd try and do is buy our own unit.
That makes sense as well, and it all adds to that whole
exactly
bigger ecosystem that you've got. Yeah,
exactly.
Good.
So
nice.
that'd be nice if we can get some commercial. But
and so same again for next year. Then
I'd be delighted.
24 properties in next year.
Yeah, I'd be delighted to. Yeah,
I suppose if you're with this traction that you're now gaining in the network that you're in now, you'd probably be able to appeal to portfolios, purchasing portfolios using your background equity, your background portfolio to get lending on bigger deals. So 24 might be a drop in the ocean for what you can do next year.
Well, that's a scary thought, but it would be nice if we could match 24 again. Yeah, definitely.
I think I touched on it earlier on, but I think we moved off it. But the team, the people that you've got around you must be so important because Nick had asked you about I think it was only one portfolio, purchases 6.
Yeah.
So it's what's that? Flipping 18 single units in one portfolio. That's good going in a year.
Yeah. I've relied a lot on sourcers.
Right,
which has been good, and even I think for probably some of the early ones that I bought, I only bought with the intention of just like a bit of like a hearts and minds operation of just going, right, there you go, I bought it, I paid for it, I did it, so next time you get something decent,
I want it.
Come to me, and you've proved yourself a bit.
So again, we get a lot of people reaching out here at the start as well. They go, "Oh, I heard about these sourcers. Like, who are these sourcers, and how do I get them? Stuff like that." But it's about relationship building and how much would people expect to pay for a buy-to-let property source deal? What would you be comfortable paying?
I've paid anywhere between 3 and 5, I think. £1,000, yeah.
Depending on the deal.
Yeah. I think I've paid 6 for one.
Have you paid sourcing fees for most of them?
Most of them, yeah. I think we've probably sourced like 4 or 5 ourselves, but every other one's been sourced for us, yeah. I haven't got the time necessarily to do so many viewings.
I do like that attitude and that approach. You realise the value that somebody's bringing as well. It's like you said, you don't have the time for that. You've got bigger fish to fry. Yeah. You've got hundreds of thousands of pounds spent on Facebook.
Yeah, it's great fun.
So you obviously use the people that. The problem is with the sourcing community. There's a lot of good ones, a lot of bad ones, like every other industry. So you have to do your own due diligence as well. You can't just say, "I've not got the time. I'm putting all my trust in you, mate." Yeah. You do have to do a wee bit of check.
Like to work with someone who's doing it themselves.
Yes,
and they can go, here you go, I've done this one, I've done this one, I've done this one, and here's how I'm confident in the numbers and what I'm selling you.
And I suppose the other one on the team I'm thinking of is probably the solicitor. When you first went to the solicitor at the start of the year, going, I'm buying an investment property, they're like, oh yeah, this is a client now we've bought 24 from.
Yeah.
Like that must have been a fair... That relationship must have been fast-tracked as well.
Yeah, it definitely has. Yeah. We've ended up being pushed into the commercial team, so that's worked out for us. So
that's good. Yeah, and same like I suppose mortgage broker as well for into the bridging and
just using guys from inside the network, which is great. So got really good relationships with them now, and everything's nice and easy. Just a wee WhatsApp message, and before you know it, you got a mortgage offer. So
have you done a recalculation just on the back of the fag packet stuff about like net asset value now? Gross asset value. Like out the whole portfolio.
Strikes me as he knows his number. He strikes me as his number.
This is our clickbait title now.
I'll probably be 24 properties in a year, but the asset, once they're all completed, is just over 4 million.
Nice.
Lovely. Absolutely brilliant.
That's good,
Mate.
man.
I mean,
Really good.
I'm blown away with the speed that you've managed to do that, and absolutely all the best.
They're
to you.
not all rented out yet. They're not all done. So
Aye, but
maybe there's a part 2 where it didn't go so well, but
in
we'll
the
find out.
in the pipeline as well. I mean, you're an action taker. Action. That's what we talk about as well. I'm pretty bad for it, to be fair. But
You're not getting somewhere without taking the action, are you?
That's it. Yeah, got to do it.
Yeah.
no, any
brilliant.
any advice for, because obviously you haven't been doing this that long.
Yep.
So any for the other people who are just starting out as well, would you think?
Go and just soak up information. Go and just speak to people and just get on the phone, talk to people, and even if you take one bit from each person, go away, learn a wee bit. And I know you're big for education and courses and stuff. I haven't done any of that, but
You'll need to.
I've learned enough just speaking to people. So
Do you listen to this podcast at all?
yeah. I've listened to this loads.
And other podcasts, and YouTube videos,
Loads of
just
it. Loads of it.
absorbing that.
I go to bed and that's what I watch. I don't watch telly. Don't watch
Is there any
anything.
other? I mean, we don't mind mentioning other names. Is there any other names, any other people that you follow that you think you've really got good value from over the years? That people can go and check out.
People like yourselves. Chris DL followed his story a wee bit. Ewan Dudden followed his. Do a bit with Matt Morrison. But my first that one in Leith I was talking about was from Paul.
I know. Again, it's always good to share because it's really easy to people who are just starting out to be just sold a dud, and it's just try to find these people who are genuine. Who are, like you say, doing what you want to do, and they've done it and got a bit of experience.
Exactly. Proof's in the pudding.
Yeah, absolutely.
Aye, so it's good to mention names, and obviously we can't endorse anybody because we can't leave ourselves open to anybody coming back to us and saying, by the way, you mentioned him.
Yeah, and I went and done something. I mentioned it.
He took my
No disclaimer if they do you over.
He took my $100,000 and disappeared into the sunset.
Sure not.
But no,
It's a small community in the Scottish property community, and as soon as I think most people do it with integrity and holding themselves to a higher standard that the reputation's important.
That's it. That's exactly it. Yeah.
Over a few grand, and
Then everyone's going to know about it, and that's that.
Word of mouth will spread very quickly because we don't give a shit about speaking about them on the podcast and mention them.
Yeah,
we're going to do a rogues gallery one day, aren't we? A property rogues gallery, and get them in the sharks. The ones that have disappeared with people's money over the years.
Well, there's no need for that. So definitely do it. And
yeah,
name and shame.
Aye, we should.
Might get yourself in trouble.
I'm just thinking that. Would we get ourselves in trouble? Fuck it. We'll
That's
just
an idea.
Just do it.
We've already had a few phone calls over the years from some disgruntled listeners or people that we've mentioned.
Yeah.
So we need to watch. Anyway, Peter, thank you very much for sharing your story.
No worries at all.
Absolutely loved it. Where can people reach out? Are you looking to work with anybody in terms of raising finance? Sounds like you've got plenty of
Not
your own
looking
money
to raise
anyway.
finance or anything at the moment, but looking to connect with people, to learn from people, to share stories and stuff like that. So yeah, absolutely.
You've set up an Instagram page
it's
recently, haven't you?
Toye, TOYE _property on Instagram, so you can follow us there.
We will share that in the show
I'll talk
notes.
to anyone, send us a message, give you my phone number and we'll have a chat.
And I'm now going to stop those messages to my family saying that that's just a scam when they
Please do.
when they send you it.
Just copy Peter's link from his competition and send it to them. What about that one?
Yeah, there you go.
That's it. I'll promote yours.
Go get some
nice.
tickets.
Good stuff.
Excellent.
Nice one. Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Thanks.
Cheers.